Our next speaker is Dr. Ed Keystone, no stranger to this meeting. He's professor of medicine at the University of Toronto, and he's the director of the Rebecca MacDonald Center for Arthritis and Autoimmune Disease and chairman of the Canadian Rheumatology Research Consortium. He received his MD at the University of Toronto, and he did his residency at the University of Michigan, and he's the founder of the Arthritis and Autoimmunity Research Center. He's founder and chairman of the Canadian Rheumatology Research Consortium. He's recipient of the Grand Master Award of the ACR. And of course, one of his largest awards was the 2011 Congress of Clinical Rheumatology Outstanding Speaker Award. Ed's going to talk about reducing the cost of biologics, dose reduction, withdrawal, and biosimilars. Very hot topic right now.
First of all, I want to say that you can see what we're going to talk about. Reducing the cost of biologics, either dose reduction or withdrawal. And then finally, we're going to talk about biosimilars, something that Canadians now have some experience in. So we will go to this slide. Maybe. Disclosures, you've seen it. By the way, what's interesting is, you notice I wasn't introduced this time. The last time I was in the US, and the person said, "This is Dr. Keystone from Toronto. He needs no introduction. He's a Canadian." Thank you. Just wanted to clarify that with you. So, a disclosure. Mark Twain. Everybody knows Mark Twain if you come to America. And probably some of you have seen this slide before, and I apologize. You know, I only have so many jokes, so this isn't a joke, this is serious, and it's a disclosure. There are two kinds of speakers, those that are nervous and those that are liars. Okay? I'm not nervous. I want to make that clear. Okay, that's it, the humor's over. Okay, so what are we going to do? You can see here, we're going to talk about strategies to withdraw the biologic both in early RA and methotrexate inadequate responders, number one. We're also going to talk about the data that supports dose reduction. And thirdly, we're going to talk about the development and the efficacy of biosimilars, particularly in RA. And we're going to talk about infliximab's biosimilar, which is called Inflectra or Remsima. In Canada, it's called Inflectra. So there you go. So these are the questions. What's the likelihood of a biologic-free remission with initiation of a biologic plus methotrexate in early RA? Now, this is a very important question because even though it costs a fortune to start both at the same time early, and most payers don't pay for it, I think even in the US you have trouble getting a biologic and methotrexate right off the bat, but if it could be shown that you could substantially either reduce the dose or withdraw the biologic, then there's no reason why one wouldn't consider starting methotrexate and a biologic at the same time. So the key issue, how well do you do in terms of biologic withdrawal and maintaining biologic-free remission? And there's two kinds of remission. There's drug-free remission, which means you go off everything, and there's biologic-free remission. I am personally interested in biologic-free remission, but we're going to ask the question here, what about drug-free remission? Can we obtain remission that drops methotrexate, the biologic, everything? That's the question. So, early RA, we're going to start with early RA. These are methotrexate naive patients, and we're going to talk about a couple of trials with that. So here's a trial called the Optima Trial. You all know that. Again, if you don't know it, I take your rheumatology degree away. And this is by Smolin, Joseph Smolin. Now, he is the godfather. And I mean that the Godfather was on television the other night. They left a horse head at the end of the bed. I don't think Joseph leaves a horse head at the end of the bed, but he is truly the godfather of rheumatology. And he did this lovely study called the Optima Trial with adalimumab. And what did he do? He started with 40 milligrams, obviously every other week, plus methotrexate. He went 6 months, and he said, put up your hand if you're in low disease state at 2 time points. Low disease state, 2 time points. He said, at that point, I'm going to have the green bar, that is, I'm going to stop the adalimumab up to week 88. So remember, we're talking 24 to 88. And then on the other hand, I'll continue it. So one group continues the combo, one group stops the adalimumab. And the question is, what's the survival of those patients either in low disease state or